Hello students, it's Earl here, as you probably know. Just wanted to update those who weren't in class on Friday, just in terms of what's expected of you as a group when you present your poster on the 5th of January. So the poster lists, your time slots, will be posted within the next 2 weeks. Please make sure you check on Moodle and you make sure you know exactly when your time slot is. What you'll be doing is presenting to a group of 6 students who may be on the same program as you or maybe not. You will have one assessor who could be your advisor or maybe not. So you need to be able to accommodate, present, talk knowledgeably about your topic. So I have put a lot of resources on Moodle for you. So for those who weren't in class on Friday, please look at Moodle. The PowerPoint presentation I used is up on Moodle. There's some examples there, as well as the marking grid. And it's very important that you look at that marking grid and understand exactly how grades are being assigned. So there is a 10% grade. Remember that your poster counts 25% towards your final module grade. 10% of that 25 will be leveled against the aesthetic appearance of the poster. So how good is the poster? Does it read well? Does it look good? Is the right font size being used? Is it clear? Is your topic clear? Then the rest of the grades are really around evidence-based. Have you used research? Have you asked a valuable question? Is your research sound and valid? Does your poster actually talk to the audience in terms of engaging them, in terms of words that you use, color schemes you used, and general appearance? You will also be asked questions at the end, so you'll have 10 minutes to present your work, of which 3 minutes will be used by the assessor to ask any questions, or you could get questions from colleagues who attend. So what you really want to do, you don't want to read a poster. And in the past, I've had students stand up there, turn to the screen and simply read what is on screen. That's not what we're asking you for. We're asking you to think carefully about what you need to detail within the poster so that your poster stands out. So too much text in a very small font on a poor background is not going to sell your poster, is not going to get you the better grades. So what I would strongly advise all of you to do is think carefully about your color scheme, what background works well, maybe a neutral. Think about images and graphics, because as we've said before, an image can paint 1,000 words. So having a useful, relevant, appropriate image within your poster could sell your poster and give you a lot more viable areas to talk through. We're not asking you to cut and paste what you put into your ethics form. We're asking you to extract the key and relevant rationale for your work. So what you will have, you'll have the title of your research as the title of your poster. Then you'll give us a brief background and rationale. You'll talk about your methodology, so who you're recruiting, how you're recruiting, and then importantly, how you're going to analyze your findings. Okay, so what are you doing? A qualitative study, a quantitative study? For those who are doing a literature-based study, it's still important to think about the methodology that you're going to use to make sense of the secondary research you have read. Then what's important as well within the poster is a timeline clearly showing where you're at. So if you've had your ethics approved, you need to say ethics approved on this date. If you're at the stage of going out there and running your study and collecting the necessary stats and data and findings, then make sure that that's clear in your list. When you expect to finish, meetings you're having with your advisory team, all of those need to appear in a logical order within the poster as a timeline check. And then right at the end, a reference list. We ask as a minimum for you to list 4 of the key texts that you are using. So if you're going to quote or cite work, you need to be able to reference that within the body of the poster itself. But at the end, the reference list should include at least 4 relevant articles that you have read or will be reading to make sense of your topic. So previously, a lot of students have opted to do one PowerPoint slide because that's all that is required of you, and they do it in a portrait layout. You could choose to do it in landscape. Think about what works best. Think about, are you going to have a central image? Think about how you're going to lay out your poster so it makes sense in terms of reading it. It makes sense for you to present it. And that's the key word that I try to get across on Friday: presenting, not reading your work. So to do that, you need to be passionate. You need to be knowledgeable about the topic that you are studying. You need to be able to educate the audience about why you've conducted this particular research, what you're hoping to find, what the value of your research is in real term sense. In other words, what take-home message, what will the impact of your research be on the current body of research within this field or within this topic. So it's really thinking about how you have positioned your research question within an existing body of work, and how you're going to use the poster presentation as a forum to discuss your work, to receive critical and valuable feedback that will help you and your advisor maybe redevelop or think about certain areas that need future growth, concern, development. So the poster itself is really one PowerPoint slide which contains the background to your work, the methodology you are using, the data analysis, your action plan, and then a minimum of 4 key texts that you have used within your work. Think about how you talk, think about your appearance. Please avoid slang words. If this is an academic piece of work, so avoid things like in it, ain't. Okay, think about how you're going to phrase, how you're going to position your words so that it reads as an academic piece of work and not a magazine article. Okay, this is not an essay, this is presenting your research to date in terms of where you're at and using the feedback and guidance that you receive to develop your work further. So I hope this very short video clip has helped you to understand what's expected of you when you present your poster on the 5th of January. Please note that next week, week 9 and week 10, you have the opportunity to do a dry run of your poster in the SE 6100 time slot. So that's on a Friday between 2 and half 4 in EB 243. Bring your poster along if you want to practice presenting, getting some feedback. That is your time. So be running that this coming week on week 9 and week 10 for you to practice your work. I strongly encourage as many of you as possible to take advantage of the opportunity to practice presenting, to get some critical comments and feedback so that you can modify, enhance, and maybe even transform some of the things you were thinking about. Please watch this video in concert with the PowerPoint that is on Moodle. It explains to you exactly what the format is, what's expected of you in terms of appearance, dress code, discussion, font size, and the overall understanding of the poster. And please look at the marking grid because that will show you exactly where points are being assigned. I wish you the best of luck and hope to see as many of you on Friday practicing your poster. Remember, that's between 2 and half 4 in EB 243.